This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Hey, Special Chronicles friends, this is Daniel Smrokowski, and I'm the founder of Special Chronicles and a Sargent International Global Messenger with Special Olympics. Welcome to the Special Chronicles Show. This is episode 483, and this week on the Special Chronicles Show, we present Unified with United, a Special Olympics Global webinar. First, just to kind of get it out of the way, a few housekeeping reminders for all of you. Make sure to visit specialchronicles.com. That's specialchronicles.com for links to follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and join in the conversation. We love interaction with you in the comments on our social media. And be sure to also subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, Special Chronicles, on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to subscribe and rate and review us. Goes a long way to a lot more people know about the show. And be sure to also subscribe to our channel on YouTube, where you can watch the live stream video episodes from many of our podcasts. We live stream video episodes. So if you want to see what I look like in the studio and what our guest looks like as well. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content. Again, specialchronicles.com for links to subscribe and follow. This week, Special Olympics Chairman Tim Shriver moderates a conversation with me during a recent Special Olympics Global webinar. So from the time that you hear this, beginning of June 2022, just a couple weeks ago, Tim Shriver moderated a conversation with me during the month of May 2022 Special Olympics Global webinar about corporate partnerships and United Airlines, lessons that I learned from competing applied to on the job, advice to share to those with intellectual disabilities on applying for a job, and we conclude with advice to an employer considering hiring people with intellectual disabilities. Tune in to see how United Airlines is a leader in the inclusion revolution right after a brief sponsor break, right here on specialchronicles.com. We're going to take a quick break from our conversation today to learn how you can become a Special Chronicles supporter so we can continue to produce this podcast. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcast, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. And now, back to the show to continue the conversation today. And back to the show.
For many of you, I don't have to introduce Daniel Smrokowski because he's so well known in this movement. He's done everything. He's been in media. We all know the Podman. Podman Dan. I don't know, Daniel. I'm told that you might not be using that moniker as much anymore. but we'll get to hear more from you in a minute. But before we get into it, I think what many of you might not know about Daniel, despite his long years of leadership and service in our movement, is that he has now joined the team at United Airlines. And so we'll start with a United Service Ambassadors video, and then Dan, we'll dive in and hear from you on partnerships. Let's show the video. Yep, there we go.
Today, here in Chicago, I got to meet our 4 Special Olympics ambassadors in person. Wonderful people who are doing great things to take care of our customers, even during the coronavirus pandemic.
The Inclusion Revolution is a campaign that Special Olympics started, and it's really about showcasing our abilities and what we're able to do.
It's not just working here, you're also learning here.
For me, getting better is working with other people, meeting different guests, and helping with my own social skill, how to talk to strangers.
Communication is my biggest struggle, but it's also my biggest passion. And that confidence that I've gained from working here at United, it's given me a lot of courage.
We talk at United a lot about making connections, and they've really made connections not only with our customers but their teammates. Not only can we help them grow as individuals, but they can help us grow also.
I feel like I have positive experiences every single day.
You have your regular family at home, and then you got your United family.
Beautiful. So United has been a global platinum partner of the Special Olympics movement now for several years. They've designed a curriculum, I'm sure, Daniel, you'll talk about this, to educate their 60,000 global frontline employees on inclusion. So this isn't just talk, and it's not just pretty pictures. This is a curriculum for all of their employees who are on the front lines. They've encouraged over 80,000 members of their staff to volunteer for local Special Olympics programs. As we know, with a big, huge airline like this, they're all over the world. They supported our 50th anniversary campaign in Chicago, which is their hometown, and in Seattle. Novi was, if any of you got to the airport in those days, Novi was gigantic. She was like a superhero hanging from the ceilings of airports and terminals and stuff like that. And many other of our athletes were there too, alongside with Olympians and Paralympians and the United staff. So this is a brand partnership. This is a employment partnership. This is a training partnership. This is an inclusion revolution team effort, if I can say it that way, as these others have been. So let me shut up, Daniel. Listen, you were the first of the 4 ambassadors to join the United team. Tell us a little bit about what it was like when you shifted from being just a global ambassador of the Special Olympics movement to being on the front lines for a big corporation like United.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, so I've learned a lot from my role as an athlete and as a global messenger, and whether in sports or on the skills that I've learned in sports and on the job take practice, and about how to improve. And at our SSIGM trainings, I've been able to follow my athlete leadership skills, and I've learned that I've also learned professional development skills, which through our SSIGM trainings, which has helped me on the job at United. We attended a LinkedIn workshop, and the difference between having a dialogue versus giving a speech, and even I've learned that since United is a global airline, I've also, it's given me an opportunity from being when we were at the World Games in Abu Dhabi, that I've learned that they've really helped to kind of change the views of their employees, and just like how we break down the videos and everyone in our movement includes us. United has also fully embraced us and have fully accepted and included us.
Beautiful. Dan, have you learned things on the job that have helped you in competition?
Yeah. There's a lot that I've taken from my competition and training that I've brought into my job at United, because as you know, in any United terminal, there are people from all across the world that travel through all the airports, and I've learned even more that there are so many kinds of people, and that we're all the same. And I've learned how to be more tolerant and understanding of all people, and I've also learned that our work is important, and that even my efforts are just, even if my efforts on the job at the airport is just to tag bags, that's also really necessary and important. Customers have even thanked me for being kind and taking the time to help them, even though we don't have a lot of time to communicate with customers because people are going all over the place. But I've been able, that little bit of kindness and help that I've been able to communicate with customers, it helps to make the air travel smoother, and it even relieves some of their anxiety about travel. And I've learned that to help solve a customer's problem, to really listen to their words and their feelings.
We should make a sign in our office, Sean and Mary, that little bit of kindness. You know, it often goes unnoticed, but what you said is people stop to thank you for it, and when they don't, you've added just a little bit of support to everybody's journey. Everybody's day is tough, right? Everybody's day has its challenges, and just that little bit of kindness is such a beautiful expression, Daniel. So grateful for that. I guess we just have another minute or two, but what would you say to employers who are considering hiring Special Olympics athletes, people with intellectual challenges? And what would you say to, your fellow athletes? Some of our people in our community are afraid to apply for a job and might be reluctant, might worry that there's not going to be that little bit of kindness, that it's going to be unfriendly in the workplace. What's your advice to them?
I would, first to employers, I would say that we can do more than people think we can. And first, when people come and see us compete, or if they see us give a speech, that's one thing that they can do. But once they talk to us, they can see and get to know us. There was a lot more that we can do if we're given the opportunity to be part of the team, and that that if one person wins, then we all win. And then to my fellow athletes, I would say if they'll, I would tell them that you win some and that you lose some, just like in sports. Sometimes it seems that your efforts don't pay off, but then comes the day when the practice, and just like when we practice competing, you can also practice your job skills, and when you practice that, then it will pay off, and you get the job. Just like how United hired me and the other service ambassadors in Chicago, the full service ambassadors like Hannah, one of our fellow SSI GMs in Denver, and then the 6 service ambassadors in Houston, and I know United has plans to hire more athletes in the future as well.
Great advice. Again, I'm going to think Mary and our whole team needs to remember, like the lessons from sport apply to work too, right? Sometimes you don't win them all, but when you work hard every day, you get more wins over time than defeats. And it may be something you're doing today that doesn't produce results today, maybe produces a big gain days, weeks, months, even years later. It's terrific advice, Daniel. I'm told you might want to ask me a question, but I think it'd be too boring. But if you do want to ask me one, I'll let you have the last question.
Yeah, because as you know, I'm usually on the other side of the.
I know you're usually the interviewer, so you get to have the last question.
So the last, we have talked about a lot about global partners and what can our other global partners do in their commitment to inclusion and follow in the footsteps of United and the other
I think this has been a master class with listening to the folks from ARI, listening to the team, listening to Bristol Myers Squibb, listening to you talk about United. I mean, we're seeing here the best of business, in my view. We're seeing people who are adopting very powerful, authentic values. We're seeing people who are trying to appeal to their customers and to their employees with a new kind of message. It's not just about profitability. Profit is necessary. It's not enough. We're hearing about people who are taking risks, getting out of their comfort zones, which, that's what we're all about, right? That's what we are all about, getting out of our comfort zones. Whether it's planking or speaking, it still challenges us. We're hearing about real, meaningful contributions, financial contributions to our movement from customers as well as from corporations. And we're hearing about jobs, real jobs, paychecks. That matters. J-O-B, it's not fake. It's not just a pat on the head. It's a J-O-B. And that's real value. So, I mean, if I were answering the question, I'd say just roll back the tape and listen to the companies we've heard from today, and I hope people will maybe find ways to create short videos like this that capture some of this in 5 or 7 minutes, so that some of our states and countries can take this to their small companies in their own areas, and say, look, this is what great companies are doing. Join us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
And I always need help tagging my bag. I can never figure out how to get that thing out of there and get it on my back. So yeah, you may think it's a small thing, but I'm telling you, when I'm sitting there by myself and that thing comes out of the machine and I don't know how to get it on my bag, I would love to see your skills and your smile come pouring around the corner to offer me some help. So
yeah, well, definitely. If you and if anybody else are flying through either Chicago or Denver or Houston, you can definitely come up to any of us service ambassadors. Was muted. We are going to retone with some closing final thoughts on this episode 483 of the Special Chronicles Show. when we return after the break right here on Special Chronicles. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and really is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they're literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Markowski, and I also am a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd Energy Force program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer. Save you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out ComEd.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
Stay safe.
Bye. I think. Sorry there, folks. A little, I wanted to make sure I get the band up. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. I hope you've enjoyed my conversation with Tim Shriver. Well, actually, Tim Shriver's conversation with me in this segment from a recent Special Olympics Global webinar. Again, just a few reminders, specialchronicles.com. Again, that's specialchronicles.com is where you can go for links to follow Special Chronicles on social media. And remember to subscribe and review this podcast, Special Chronicles, on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Just look, just go to specialchronicles.com, click on YouTube, and you can subscribe that way. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content. Again, specialchronicles.com for links to subscribe and follow. And I just want to let you know you can visit specialchronicles.com/podcast483. That's specialchronicles.com/podcast483 for links to listen and subscribe and watch this week's episode and all the other links that we have in the show notes. We have links to the global partnership that Special Olympics has with United Airlines, if you want to read more about that global partnership, as well as a link to the Unified at Work podcast series that I host and is sponsored by United's Bridge Business Resource Group that's connecting people of all abilities. If you want to hear more conversations about the meaning of inclusive employment, then make sure to go and listen to the Unified at Work series, which is on this podcast on Special Chronicles. and we have other conversations with other service ambassadors and other employees at United. Coming up on next week's episode, we will be live in Orlando, Florida at the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games. Tune in to a special audio program of the Orlando Daily Show, a video series hosted by me, Daniel Smrokowski. So again, the week of June 13th, when we return, we will be putting up a special audio program of all of the video interviews that I will be doing during the week. June 5th through the 12th of the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games. And remember, if you are not yet subscribed to my SSIGM journal, if you are not yet subscribed to my SSIGM journal, make sure to visit specialchronicles.com/journal. That's specialchronicles.com/journal. And you will receive exclusive access to all week, June 5th through the 12th. You receive exclusive access to the Orlando Daily Show video series that I'm hosting, where I will be reporting live from the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games. Again, visit specialchronicles.com/journal. That's special. I think I almost misspelled that on that panel there. So let me update that quickly here. Again, that's specialchronicles.com/journal, specialchronicles.com/journal, or click the link in the show notes. And that's the only way where you can subscribe to Daniel's, subscribe to my SSIGM journal and get exclusive access to the Orlando Daily Show video series delivered to your inbox. I will not be, as of now, I will not be making these video interviews, this video series, open to the public. So the only way to get links, and to watch, the only way to watch this Orlando Daily Show video series, the video series that I will be hosting live from the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games is again, subscribe to my SSIGM journal. Right now we have about 51 people subscribed to that mailing list. So again, visit specialchronicles.com/journal, specialchronicles.com/journal, and you will get exclusive access to the Orlando Daily Show video series. I just like at the Abu Dhabi World Games, I didn't know who I was going to interview before going there, but I do have I do know some people that I do want to try to see if we can get interviews with. Again, I'll be trying to interview some athletes, maybe some coaches, maybe some sponsors and partners. Who knows? Maybe even some celebrity ambassadors here or there if I run into any of them. So it is going to be a fun. So sorry, folks. I need to plug in my computer here. My computer got unplugged. There we go. So again, specialchronicles.com/journal, specialchronicles.com/journal is where you can subscribe for exclusive access to the Orlando Daily Show video series that I will be hosting live from the 2022 USA Games. I hope, and again, this week, as you listen, that's where I am in Orlando, Florida. So you want to make sure to subscribe at specialchronicles.com/journal to get the exclusive access and see all the adventures that I will be having at the 2022 USA Games. Again, have a great week. We'll see you next week on a special audio presentation of the Orlando Daily Show video series live from the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games in Orlando, Florida, right here on the Special Chronicles Show on specialchronicles.com. Until next week, remember, choose to include in China's one. Choose to include. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles Show's podcast. Visit specialchronicles.com to follow Special Chronicles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified of new episodes. Also, subscribe to our newsletter mailing list to sign up for our updates and get exclusive content delivered to your inbox. Remember to do what you do with these podcasts. Subscribe or follow and rate and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Finally, please share this episode and all of our podcasts with your friends and family. Help us grow our audience and reach 5,000 downloads of our audio podcasts and over 14,000 average monthly listeners. Have a great week, and we'll see you back here next week with exciting new guests. See you next week.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.